Enabling environment is vital to address barriers to change among individuals and the community. It is critical to advocate with policymakers, law enforcers, and opinion makers to ensure a supportive environment for intervention. The core group vulnerability can be broadly divided into two categories: vulnerability within the sex circuit, like violence, exploitation, and harassment, and broader socio-economic vulnerabilities like poverty, illiteracy, and lack of savings.
People in the MSM, FSW and HIJA community face crisis situations all the time. While addressing HIV issues, real-life situations cannot be ignored. It is important to address crises that get reported by a team comprising of community members as well within a short time. The first hour of the crisis is crucial, and therefore responding within 60 minutes is critical. Responding to crisis instills confidence in the community and brings about a feeling of comradeship.
When a community member in distress calls the crisis number, the members of the crisis management team immediately contact others in the team to take stock of the situation. Depending on the nature of the crisis, the members inform the project staff, project coordinator, and the legal resource person. It is crucial to provide moral support and give the message that the person is not alone, but that the whole project supports the community member. If a community member is arrested, the crisis team, along with a legal resource person, should reach the police station within 60 minutes. Every crisis is documented to record the kind of crisis, perpetrators, and response. This formal documentation is essential to analyze the data on crisis response. It is also essential to have weekly debriefing meetings. Please read TI Guidelines Annexure 7, page number 386 to know more about Situation Report on Community Harassment and Abuse. Here is a case study who was rescued by the crisis response team.
I was tortured by the goons and brutally assaulted. The police did not even register a complaint. The community came to my rescue and saved me.
The importance of crisis intervention is to help people when they are in crisis, so that this builds a lot of confidence in the individual. It builds a lot of trust between the individual and the organizations and the support system that is available for sexual minorities when they are in crisis.
Implementing partners should get hold of a good lawyer and sensitize him to the issues of sex work so that he gains insight into what a sex worker really goes through in terms of legal harassment. And when he goes and he is part of the crisis intervention team, he really advocates on behalf of the sex worker. There is a need for him to take sides, and he has to go with the full comprehension of the issues, not just the law. And when it comes to legal literacy and legal education, it's not sufficient that you talk to sex workers and educate them on ITPA. You need to educate them on women-related laws, what are cognizable and non-cognizable offenses, so that they have an overall overview of law and how it affects them, and what are their rights under law, and what is it that they can do in case if there is a harassment in the name of law.
Crisis management team should consist of peer educators, outreach workers, senior project staff, and legal resource persons. The team establishes detailed protocols for staffing and procedures of the crisis response team. Mobile phones are obtained for the use of committee members to be called at times of crisis. The phones are never switched off. The team has to be available round the clock to respond to any crisis situation. Crisis mobile numbers should be widely circulated within the community.
The vulnerability that FSW, MSM and TG face is huge. People face situations of violence, exploitation, harassment, etc. in different environments and settings. Power analysis gives a good idea about power structures and barriers. This is done in a peer-led approach so that the analysis is realistic. This process identifies how various stakeholders influence FSW, MSM and TG directly or indirectly, positively or negatively. There are different ways of doing power analysis. The guideline describes one such tool. Let us see how a group is doing power analysis and developing appropriate strategies.
Power analysis is done by the community to assess their equation with various organizations or groups in society. Together, they are able to pinpoint strengths and weaknesses in their relationships. The group analyzes using a chart their relationship with their own peers, police, gundas, hotels, and other relevant groups and places. The red dot indicates the community has no rapport with that particular establishment. The yellow dot indicates that the relationship, though established, needs to be improved. The green dot indicates the relationship is cordial. This helps the community to understand where they need to put their advocacy efforts and therefore plan for it. This could change every month because, based on the red or yellow, the community will have to put in an effort to win the stakeholders' confidence, friendship, as well as shape their attitudes.
Several barriers exist that do not allow interventions to progress in the right direction for prevention impact. Creating an environment that is conducive to HIV prevention work, as well as an environment that enables high-risk populations to access and utilize services is essential. Advocacy is one of the ways to create an enabling environment.
Local advocacy plays a dominant role in addressing HIV. Babus, boyfriends, and brokers reduce the risk of HIV and play a pivotal role.
Sex workers have strong emotional ties with their babus or boyfriends. Therefore, condom use with them is a big challenge for sex workers. Many a times, the boyfriends have a strong control over them and harass them. So we formed a group of boyfriends. This group educates other boyfriends on health and condom use. We also work with them so that there is less harassment from boyfriends.
Legal education to the community goes a long way in handling situations like these. Regular appraisal of the community's programs to the law enforcing agencies like the police give leverage to the community to make them understand the importance of the project. This needs constant interaction with the police.
Our constant interactions with AIDS control agencies and women empowerment agencies, we have created a congenial environment in all our police stations where a woman can walk into at any hour and express her distress, what has been through her. A lot of times, the credibility of some of the women who are engaged in this profession or what is termed as commercial sex worker becomes deriding and they are not taken seriously. But I can assure you that all our police stations have been sensitized on this aspect, and even they being considered downtrodden are heard, and they can also be victims of injustice if we make them sit down, listen to them, talk to them and give them possible solutions. That itself is enough to give them the courage that what AIDS has taken out of them. AIDS has not only deprived them of their defense systems, but has also deprived them of their confidence. We may not be able to change their standard of living, style of living, or we may not be able to increase their economic status, but still when they walk into police station, if some amount of dignity is extended to them, they are meant to sit down and heard. I am sure they feel that the law enforcement agencies do not victimize them or make fun of them or cast them as those who have disreputable characters.
They are educating other sex workers through providing condoms. For this, we also support for their good work.
Economic issues are of critical importance in a sex worker's life. They go through periods when they do not have much money and have to borrow at high interest. Even the money that they make is not necessarily their take-home income, as they have to give their share to different people in the work environment.
My mother is a sex worker and a member of this cooperative society. She used to save her earnings here and was able to get a loan for me and my brother's education. Our lives changed because of this. From the time the cooperative has extended the membership to the children of sex workers, I have also become a member. Our family remains eternally thankful to Usha Cooperative Society.
Economic independence, the confidence to deal with various sections of society and crisis empowers the community to establish their identity and seek to be part of the mainstream.